The do-while structure. Unlike for and while loops, which test the loop conditions at the start of the loop, do-while checks its condition at the end of the loop. So by this process, the conditional statement gets a chance to execute a minimum of one time. So do while is similar to while loop, except that a do while loop is guaranteed to execute at least once. So we have syntax as follows: the do keyword for do keyword is followed with the conditional block of statements, and as the block of statement is getting finished, there is an iterator working, and soon after iterator there is followed by a while keyword, and after the while keyword, it's a boolean condition follows. So now let us analyze this with the help of a simple display of set of numbers, how the do will is going to do it. So same like the for and while loop, the do while also does the same purpose of displaying set of numbers. So here the iterator of the I value starts with 0 and with the and the comparison is set equal to 5. So 0 to 5 will be the set of numbers that will be displayed with the help of console write-line method. So here the do keyword followed by the conditional logic, then followed by the iterator, then with the comparison logic. Now let us analyze the situation of the same with the help of a Visual Studio Code. So we'll visit the Visual Studio Code and try to debug a similar situation. So here we have changed the situation a little bit. We are interested to get a set of numbers between two limits, the lower limit and the higher limit, and the lower limit is set, and both of these low and high limits are set at the compile time runtime environment. Now, see for loop as such, we know that it has to take the low with follow with high, and the low is incremental process, and set of all low values will display with help of console write line. So the same situation has to be changed, and we have to format this in a do loop environment. So we know that the low part is already been initialized. Now we have to just do the work of constructing the do while structure. And there is a low iterator working at the end of the loop. And once that has been done, the while loop has to execute with the comparison operator soon after the curly braces. So here comes the comparison between the low and high. The low is an incremental process till the value high is raised. And that has been and it's ended up with a semicolon. Now the conditional logic is as to display the value of the whole of the iterating process of the low. That will be coming up as a constant write-line method here. So with this, the logic is complete. Low is initialized outside at the runtime. B is the initializing point of the low. Then there's Boolean operation working here. Then set up all the Boolean conditions, conditional logic, then followed by the iterator. And once that has been done, we'll go for the build-up session, check up for the build-up issues. We are waiting for the and in this condition, we have to make sure very much by the fact that the low should never take a higher value than the high. Otherwise, the compiler is sure to give an exception error. And that is to be noted up while we enter the values at the runtime environment. So low should be strictly smaller than the high value. Now we can see it's build succeed. We can go for the start button of the page. We have executed the start button and we are waiting for the debugging output to show the debugger window. And once that is done, we'll go for entering the values. Now we can see that the lower input is been asked, the prompted question we're giving is 15, and the highest point we can put it as 35. So we can get a set of 15 to 35 answers. Yeah. So this is how the simplest do while architecture can work for a display of set of numbers.